Yeah. Jesus, you're my everything, yeah. My everything is you, Lord. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Everybody say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. See, I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your location. And then sumima ankra bia akwa ba ebe yedwumedi so a every Friday bia yeto anamo e de bremo esign said BWF Solicitors Owoma community nintino or the education based on legal matters at the bremo senior beya wo ka ewo imranse mu a wetumi enya ye kan is advice and I say nimdie na wo nso odi ato anamo nti ena nso adom yen wamaye nkwa wamaye ahoden wamaye enije se yemfa sa adwumedie emfa embrem megiri se ba biara wo ho ye na se wo ho ye de a mesrew ni die mu bomoden aka me ho fiti ena this time up to just after 1 hour no e de dwumedie no beba wi ye na wo nso anya wo chefa wo mena ye beautiful topic esan say bano ye ka skill workers a nyoma bebree na or say yehu ewo mu say afe na obenya afe na wenya afe na wokwa extending ni ade no eno asem na eba be kanansa na me introduce me resource person ene me ne agi me resource person me ba no mesere ni de mbo mo de share program no oba so a onkwa enche emfa. Don't be selfish, just click on the sharing button, like our page, go to the YouTube channel, na subscribe to our YouTube channel no se ne be ya do ma bi nso wo ho unyemia so abribia bebia no ubenya notification na wetumi adjoin ye ena meni agiye sanse nyoma ewiemu sisa na ewiemu sisa no na chese home office so de bia na omo keka nka mo ho ya ye hu se April omo de we ye kan se immigration sem bebre aba betu dwa sanso me nso 1 or 2 bi so aba be apai we say apai enti no ene yenye ya resource person no ye ba bedwudwum ye ba be pape mu ye ba be tretre ye ba be sua ade se ne be ya se mra ensem bi ehaw eda wo sumi ase na wo hu kwan a obefa so a obedi ho dwuma ene ye wa ha yeah, you education na maybe a telephone lines na maybe na wetumi afre anase wa send WhatsApp message na lawyer mene ne wo ene no wetumi eyi ano e de amount say afenso yi ano na bia still unshare da enya yimu ni yie na ene na wa form number na wetumi akwa mo wo mo asoeye na afi wode wunsem nyina atudwa e de amount na omoyi no baako na omadi ne yie e de amount enti no kame ho media ne manyeti uchi am bia afre manyeti meje osu ne asomdwe ne nije mo na enne me nchia ede mamo no me introduce me resource person me ho na che yie na me ni age se ne nso me ne ba be di se adwuma enti no me ma akwaba lawyer Charles Asma Fancy Confederation but good morning lawyer Charles.
Good morning, na pomo.
Adomo nkwa ye ho ya nkasa nti me ma akwanya na wo so fa nchia mu ohwam nkasa emetiefoɔ na ahwɛfoɔ na afede emfa adwumadie no enhye so ohara
Yo me da se bebre na manyeti ebusuafo ne adofo ende efiede enso yeda onyankopɔn ase se ode akyenyen yebesua ade ende enkomo no ehia pa because dodo no efre lawyer me 5 years na nche beso me a skilled worker me na me ye main me a skilled worker me na me ye dependent into me market time omo adwin ni nyina no at the 5 years na so bibia enka ho biem but the question is, can you prepare this meal without the necessary ingredients and enkomo a ende yebedi indefinite leave to remain as a skilled worker and no anase enyoma bi wo ho a ese wo hu enti yeda wase se ende so wa joining yen.
Sa lawyer Charles me nso meda ase me ne agye se ne nso wa beka ye ho na ye de nkyerɛkyerɛ ye mu hwam ama etiefoɔ na ahwɛfoɔ dodo na maba so me srɛ ni die ma mo nko mo nkyɛmfa mo share program ne ma me mo nya do bi ma me anope na anope me nso me ho keka me ho say we'll pour out this particular topic to you because it has been something on our heart I am burden be e de ama dodo na ni omo question based on this particular topic. Into the abadia, I know say numerous of you will definitely get the benefit of it. Into no, nietiene say onya ba so a share. And the yami ankasa, just don't take it alone. Me den chia mo hwambe ma me nua ba tili du ma tili nyame nhra tell me te won ka che me gide say yenko awie no na wenya wo so uchefa wo say please kindly share, comment and like. Thank you. No cre sa no dia to ja Charles Emery. Charles, good morning, baby biara owo. Onso me yente on kana share. The my say good morning, lawyer Charles Asma. Me de wan cha me Charles me wefu. Wan cha me dia me wefu. Ne nyina ye. Lawyer Charles, yebekɔ so yen time no call adai terrible. Good morning. Me den cha kese enso de ma baby biara owo bibi biara owo. Dodo na ma ba mo nhye na time konti no. Me skip greetings no na yemfa yen topic. Na answer na ebe introduce me topic no. Lawyer Charles ayem bia home office there na ya we be sisi ya no mbetwa mo ho si no mo de bibia bedwam abra ahwefo mo hwe mbia mo nte ho ampan mbia mo nte ho nka bibi credit bi wo ho just maybe one topic bi a update home office there betudwa was say yehu ana
Yo me da se bebre na ne etiefo ane ahwefo enyinara we de enye just home office for eno mo anya age wo ho na mom aban na wa hwe ne sapom ensuo se ne ekoso ewo UK omemu no anase nkrofo mo wa manone a edina sa ekwan no so eye bibia enfa emra no esuye no omoni won ebedi ne wenwenwen den na yeka unu se nkrofo bebre efra omo ho se lawyers dido no aye immigration work obi omo a obeka se oh metumi aye we yama na omoma so omo present omo ho se omo ye immigration work na omo ma immigration advice na omo ye ne omo ye bia imran say advertising and making arrangement for immigration advice and service. Na then na ekoso emre bi wo ha ye no Immigration and Asylum Act 1999. Na wo share section 84 subsection 1 of sa emra no a obaka kire say wunni qualification and as a license to give immigration advice wuntumi my immigration advice. Wo call section 91 no a osi so obi obeye sa no say ye hwehwem na yehu say sa na oye a wato emra. Na saa nipa na wato emra no wokɔ section 92 B wɔn so a ɔka nyɔma ahodoɔ na watenemu aka kyerɛ sɛ woto saa emra no a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛde wofa ɛkwan so na yɛtwe waso. It can be a fine, it can even be imprisonment. Then na ɛkyerɛ na ne nyinaa ɛka ne sɛ wonni qualification sɛ woyɛ in the UK sɛ woyɛ barrister, woyɛ solicitor, we are licensed by the Chartered Legal Executive Institute of Legal Executive, and now say you are licensed by the Office of Immigration Services Commissioner. To me, Emma immigration advice. Now, to me, present who say we are ubia utumi eyesa ejumano. Na that just in nyina no ekowie pocket lawyers for ekupie omo aboa no say we need license so we are solicitor, barrister, OISC registered or SILEX, which is Chartered Institute of Legal Executives registered. To me Emma immigration advice we are sa watomra na yeso mu a yebetumi afine o anase yebetumi edo akọ prison. To we know ama aban say saa emra no a na ho 1999 ebesi ende no omo ebepejamu na omo make sure say eye ejuma santi omo de bill foforo akọ parliament ye friend no border security bill. Na saa border security bill no aka nyina na say saa nyoma afa immigration hu nyina na nkrofo atutu na ase no afi de ombe kuremu na omo make sure say competent people can give advice when it comes to immigration. Ama nyekoso sisi we UK no ankofo bebre ho akere won no ankoso biem.
I see. Hey, and see pocket lawyers for nyina mo ho be kana lawyer oho no anu oho. Se obi ye application ono ankasa na obi boa no onye lawyer but just mbia na some of the understanding of the terminologies na war application mo ntia se nti wa mane nue bia na ne busu bi aboa na se ono atro esan se ono ano yeye na sebio bia na nsem bi wo ho enti ne daachi bi na ye bisa no no si o menua bi na eboa me ya how is that going to affect nínú na why ne home pocket lawyer na be affect no because say ono your application no assign so no na your application no nanso no in terms no nínú bi na aboa na aye enti no ho no so ono de na no ekoka say o menua yi ana osimesi na eboa me a eno nso ebetumi enya nsonsanso wo nínú na oboa no so ana
You let's just say you were helpers. Now, you share section 91 of the Immigration and Asylum Act 1999 one. Obaka Trust say, so we are who say, who advertise it.
Okay.
So we are who say, who arrangement.
Okay.
Connection. That's the simple word.
Okay.
Who arrangement to give advice and service.
Sir.
Not just say, and your help, kake.
Okay.
Mini business.
Okay.
So there's a difference between innocent help and intentional help with a view to giving advice and doing it.
Okay.
And it's obi an application. Of course, we have a lot of helpers. And you
Exactly.
say, now I say, Charles, Shemuse Bibia no kama. It was a way your application. So say, are you being supported or is this being done by immigration advisor? That question but that's all I can say yes or no.
Or no. Okay.
What can know it means one away what dear.
Sir.
Okay, yes, sir. So we didn't know information.
Okay.
Good. Na say me na me ya madie, wo boa me
Mm,
keke. And the make say
mm,
no. Na me de me am
mm.
details aba. But this is
Okay.
the case wo and when why you be more or less when I want me supporting me
Apo.
into doing it.
Exactly.
When
Mm-hmm.
we leading me on into getting into that stage. Now we your application no amami.
Uh-huh.
Now we do
Mhm.
within questions so say e good me din so me na me ya ma dia. Asamba make say me kra mpo na me nim say me am din na so because ono no ye bibia, no no ka say ade be ye. Ono kra no ye nyama ni na ma me. That means you advertised, you arranged,
Ah,
advised, and did the service, even though
okay.
you are not licensed to do so.
Exactly.
Afoɔ no na mmara no say yɛbɛkyɛsi wɔn na
Okay.
yɛakrampo wɔn down because nea ɛkɔ so no aban
Uh,
say ɛha adwen wɔ
ah,
Ukraine no. So it all depends. If
mm,
you are helping, that's nothing wrong. We all
mm.
help. But when you are
Okay.
helping, make sure say you help because obi a ni hɔ a wo help no a ɔbɛka say let's sign an agreement say you are just helping me. But
Ate.
sɛ onim sɛ ɔno na ɛyɛ arrangement bi biribi akɔ so na ɔka kyerɛ sɛ
Uh,
science waa na woyɛ w'adeɛ deɛ a I don't think sɛ
mm,
sɛ nipa n'adwene dɛ hɔ ɔbɛsan ne obi sɛ
ate.
sɛ ade na woyɛ ama me na nti these are the nitty gritties a
Yeah,
ɛwɔ
yeah.
mu normally nothing happens if nothing has happened but biribi si
Of
a na nipa
course.
no ɔbɛ raise alarm sɛ deebi o lawyer ɔbɛfrɛ nipa
And
no
then,
koraa sɛ lawyer
uh,
no ɔyɛ biribi ama me ɛhɔ na ebe bi sɛ sɛ nipa no ɔyɛ licensed lawyer
uh,
na
uh,
sɛ unlicensed or unqualified lawyer.
lawyer. Yo, lawyer Charles, yeah, hard dream, but yes, you better crack down some of these things and say, be yeah, for because in some of the brain and I mean, who she and I be or still a lawyer, no, yeah, a doors or system, no more. So, yeah, the home office, as I say, or more, yes, I did. Now, do not so it's an advice to us, say, wouldn't him say, when you're lawyer, now will be any application for my Miss or say mo ho terms a mo kom enye say wo advertise wo ho ana intentional ana say intention ana say whatever no or say wotumi refrain from that say na be adachi bi asem ba because especially you promo for the minimum pa or yeah na sebi mbi kra na ya amount ya approve sa application na wobɛhu a na waka sɛ wo na woyɛɛyɛ na ɔde blame de brɛ wo na afei sɛ kɔpie court a wo na wo ho bɛba asɛm nti no yɛnhwɛ ne yie wɔ hɔ yɛn nyinaa yɛnyɛ ahwɛ yie wɔ hɔ lɔyɛ kyɛ sɛ yɛbɛda ase with the update a wode abrɛ yɛn no hantiɛle na mekyia wo dodo megye wo so dodo megye de sɛ wo ho yɛ nti yɛbɛkɔ so Sandra Fraser hello to you as well Auntie Helena say good morning manyeti and lawyer Charles thank God for the increase I was saying God oh dear young so menkan young so na anɔpɛ energy na aba too much sama me ho nneɛma tutu anɔpɛ yɛba bɛka about nneɛma a ɔsɛ yɛhwɛ so na sɛ yɛkɔ akɔ renew yɛn skill migrant wei na skill worker application na yɛtumi yɛ saa scheme yɛ bae dodoɔ no ebi mu nya 3 years ebi mu nya 5 years straight ebi mu nso de ka ba ntɛm koraa ansa na government introduce care for deɛ no ebegum bebree nti no when you look at this year and next year now a whole lot of people are due for the 5 years no say na be indefinite now when na nkrofo are starting ebisebise bi mo ha okwa na ya refuse okwa because say like lawyer Charles can from the beginning no omo per main meal no so no mo nim the ingredient to use to get that main meal nti ene no ye ba behwe before I akwaji we indefinite no from the start of your visa na ye de ma na obe start say we ye adwuma no there are few things that you need to consider or senka every year bia ututu ho anamo na we na dodo na ni nti na e ba behwe things to consider before applying for your indefinite leave as a skilled worker ehia papa enra na me ne obi di ho ekinye o ka kire me say o home office last 3 months pet no mbehwe nti near 50 first year up to 5 years 4 years 7 months no and 8 12 months near one nti up to ninth month na enhyɛ da mfa ho na last 6 months 3 months na aka ne pɛ na home office nti ɔne ɛmfa ne ho na mesi yo boy menye lawyer o na mene lawyer for to me etena se every no fanta kakra nti kakra omonim de no metumi saki kakra ana lawyer Charles yenka ne say enti
And
na ne
no,
ye ba be hwe things to consider before obetumi aye wo indefinite application as a skill migrant law. Ehia pa. Enti no, yenko so na lawyer Charles na yen. What are some of the things that I needed to consider before applying for me? Say be no step by step. Say ne be you bet to me and jot it down and then understand the whole concept. Mpacho me too a channel at the mouth.
you me that say, my etiefo ne ahwefo ene nkomo no hia pa santi yebekọ board so mama producer aboan na or the resource na obi nka sɛ oh na lawyer no wabɛbɔ ne team na wakekeka bia obedwa n'enum na den na ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛ no korɛ nti yetu a na yɛakyerɛ beebi a yetu ye. So we go to the law, the guidance for case workers. Mmara na anasɛ rules a wɔde yɛ adwuma no na mpakyɛ wɔ
Mpacho me wa ha pa.
hɔ mpakyɛ who board no so.
Me who immigration rules no was so
Very good.
yes.
So we are going to do a collaborative learning. Okay. I mean, you're also a learning practitioner. So we are going to do collaborative and interactive learning to help viewers and listeners. And over my top and I see the latest update. The bank. I'm updating the bank.
25th of February 9th April 2025.
How many months ago?
Just last month, yeah, anti-month
Very good.
grandma.
We are fresh. This was from 2016, but they keep updating it. So this is
That's
with all the
correct.
latest updates. So the title, Immigration Rules Upon the Skilled Worker. Skilled worker for Inti producer, please take us. So go down. We'll get to a point where now we'll have to come in to read for us. So please go down. I'll tell you where to stop. Um, Settlement. So now we are going to look at settlement for skilled
Mm.
workers. Okay. So yeah, let's start from there. We'll rush from 19 to 23. Then when we get to 24, we slow down. So now just rush through here for us. SW19, paragraph SW19 1. What does it say?
Right.
The-
So, as a person applying for settlement as a skilled worker must apply online on the government.uk website on the specific form. Settled in the UK in various immigration categories. Form SET Set O.
Yeah. So hold on for me. So validity. This is under validity. Whether the application be valid or not is one of the things you have to consider. You have to use set O. That's example. Now let's move on to the next one. S2
Okay.
W2.
SW9 to
Yeah.
1926. An application for settlement as a skilled worker must meet all the following requirements. Into A, any fee must have been paid, and B, the applicant must have provided biometric when
So this is,
required.
this is
Okay.
also standard. This is also
Mm,
standard. So the standard ones, we will not waste too much time. So you
okay.
pay your fee, you do your biometric. Let's go to 3.
Okay. The applicant must have or have last been granted permission as a skilled worker. Mhm.
But go to 192D. And here important.
Right.
192D.
Okay, 192D, no. The applicant must be in the UK on the date of application.
Aha, nti wontumi ɛnka sɛ wo bra so na wowɔ holiday na yɛmfa ntum ma wo anaasɛ wode tum wɔ
Mm,
hɔ. Yɛnhyɛ
mm.
ɛhɔ no nso. Then
Okay.
19 free. Ɔse sɛn.
Applicant must have or have at least been granted permission as a skilled worker.
Good. So either you were a skilled worker from the beginning or you've recently become a skilled worker.
Mm.
In other words, you must be a skilled worker to be able to settle under skilled worker
That's
route.
correct.
Good. Let's go to 1904.
Producer Pachofa Kostruka Krama me why? Okay, so 1940 can say an application which does not meet the validity requirement for settlement as a skilled worker may be rejected as invalid and not considered.
So,
A suitability requirement for settlement as a skilled worker. Nti aha na ebeka ye omehwe suitability no.
good. So
One.
here is important, suitability. Yes.
Okay, so SW 20.1, I say the applicant must not fall for refusal under Part 9 grounds for refusal. Ohono utimi cheche mu
So,
kakra ma
so Part 9, yeah, we have a lot of Part 9 grounds for refusal. And
Okay,
we know, say, criminality is one of them.
right.
We know, for example, if you look at paragraph 9.7.1, it tells you that if you have used false information or false document
Mm-hmm,
without your knowledge or with your knowledge,
mm-hmm,
and there's no intention to deceive, you may be refused.
mm-hmm,
Then it moves on to 9.7.2.
mm-hmm,
It says that if you did that with intention to deceive, then
mm-hmm,
you will be refused.
mm-hmm,
Then it goes to other things on suitability grounds, such
mm-hmm,
as if you would the NHS a car,
mm-hmm,
hospital, you are not supposed to. Now call hospital. Now when to your car now, ya the bill our brand, still I won't cast out my brand is why the burial. What
mm-hmm,
is for court? Because bias in those days, maybe a way application be what you call court, and now say yeah, immigration appeal, and now say yeah, even a car crown, I would now it could be a county court, in a court, a car a fee award, and that's a
mm-hmm,
cost award against you. And acquire kind of won't you a bruno so now we are that is another suitability matter. It's debt owed to NHS about £500 and above. Debt owed to court, debt
mm-hmm,
owed to home office. Ni nyinaa no will be suitability matter. Then we also come to
okay.
criminality point. If you are if you committed a criminal offense and you have been convicted, that is also an issue. And so many other things are where your application. And this said, have you done any of these things before? Like I said, no. Okay, yes, you have to explain. So those are the suitability grounds or factors
Okay.
under Part 9.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so if we continue to the next one, I'll say uh
20.2. Yeah.
20 point now the applicant must not be in breach of immigration laws, except that where paragraph 39E applies, that period of overstaying will be disregarded or on immigration bail.
Okay, until you started with immigration bill. So at the time of that application for indefinite as a skilled worker, no, 20.2 says that you must not be on immigration bill. Immigration bill means what immigration emra. Emra ye pese ye do kofie, but it is a detaining yama bail, and I say yama bail keke. Say finding name number report to. The moment I was started a report to on phone or face to face, let's just say immigration bill. A kobasa ukoye indefinite as a skilled worker, 20.2 no ebeyo. You call 20.2A no or say overstaying. You don't have to have overstayed in the UK during your time as a skilled worker, except where you overstayed within 14 days, and within that 14 days, you apply to extend your stay. For
Okay.
example, Obi Omua Waba UK skilled worker. Time no so na say your man extension no employer no delays nkrofo aye omo frɛ lawyer metam aso employer no ɔse COS ne ma yɛ ne adeɛ. What do we do? Bi a watwɛn ɛna adeɛ no ɛwɔ ne nsam. Ewu ya na COS no ne nsa kaa yɛ. Na
Fine.
just for 14 days. That
Mm,
14 days no is under 39E. So where you extend you renew your your skilled worker visa based on the grace period of 14 days, which is paragraph 39E of the immigration rules, that means that immigration, right, but overstaying, may not be considered against you because, I don't know, the law has already prescribed, say, we are late 14 days is permissible. But after 14 days, there, which means what the cockra and ye, here.
Yeah.
That is the difference between B and A. All right. Now, eligibility.
Right.
Eligibility.
Okay, nti sesi a yɛaka suitability no ho asɛm, yɛkɔ how eligibility no sɛnea wobɛyɛ eligible for this to apply. Okay, nti ɔse one, eligibility requirement for settlement as a skilled worker. Qualifying period requirement for settlement as a skilled worker. So there is something that we call qualifying period. Or say SW21.1. The applicant must have spent a continuous period of 5 years in the UK.
Okay.
Okay.
In terms of what you mean that
Yeah.
Obia and market time said, me try 5 years, I'm a time or for indefinite. Yes, sir. Until what you need that. So we are not going to waste time. So the qualifying period to indefinite for skilled workers 5 years.
That's
Now, I
right.
think the two say 5 years, is in the combination of the following or in the standalone of the following. Into our categories are 5 years, ever cover for skilled worker, skilled workers, all that we know, global talent for now. Yeah, but that is not the issue here. So let's go to 21.3.
Okay. Producer, o push ko kakrama me a na me ho. What 22.1?
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. I think so. Okay, let's go down to 22. So
All
move
right.
to 22.
Okay. Into 22.1 it can say the applicant must meet the continuous residence requirement as set out in appendix continuous residence during the period in SW2, and it is a 5 years then and now or
And you say
okay.
21,
Mm,
one, no, I'm referring, no, more about
and
22. But just go up a bit. Producer,
okay.
just one step up. Go back
Right.
a bit. Just stay there. So if you
Mm,
look at I, there's sub sub
mhm.
and that. And when we read I, and I see permission on any other route. Yeah.
During
I.
the time the applicant was waiting for a decision on their application as a skilled worker, provided that application I was for permission to stay, and II was made between 24th of January 2020 and 30th June 2021 inclusive, and was supported on the date of application by a certificate of sponsorship assigned by a licensed sponsor and was granted.
So the operative word I per se use or say licensed.
Mm,
Until we see OS must have come from a licensed sponsor. Or
mm,
say I and and I
mm,
and Ivy. So
mm.
the moment we have and, it means they all count.
Okay.
Moment
Okay.
mention so say
Mm,
the beer when you add any few crown is important. And
mm.
all those things are important. But we and your burden be brave. Into young
Mm,
22 one 22 2.
okay.
So
Now,
22 one so 22 no just one pet or it's just a
mm,
continuing period, Your child says
okay.
say 5 years. But
Yes,
your knowledge now here pa.
I know correct. Intellectual knowledge of life in the UK requirement for settlement as a skilled worker. Ohono na pese yedwidwum yi. Then so as a skilled worker no lawyer Charles Betchim ba menkan ne wo ho no. Or say SW 23.1 say applicant must meet the knowledge of life in the UK requirement as set out in appendix KOL UK.
Yeah, knowledge of life in the UK.
Mhm.
All right. So we know, sir, every indefinite leave to remain, it doesn't really matter which route or category, you must show English language at the right level, proficiency level, B1, and you must also show that you have the appreciation of the life of UK, which is the knowledge of life in the UK. The only exception, what Hannah said, with English language, because most people who are on the skilled worker might have already done the English language proficiency. When it gets to indefinite, the question is, will that English language now, or a pass here to go on the skilled worker and be exempted or not? But most of the time, you need the English language proficiency at the right level, level B1. And then you know that. And a life in the UK is compulsory. But obi oma or foreign qualification. This our foreign qualification. Now what actors equivalence or letter which may use. Yes, sir, this is exams no for that particular. You know, say your exams were you call for skilled worker. Skilled worker, can say exams no different. Yɛwɔ weifoɔ healthfoɔ deɛ, yɛwɔ weifo deɛ, weifo deɛ. But sɛ wokɔyɛ indefinite leave to remain no a, ɛyɛ speaking and listening. Mainly speaking and listening. Nti saa na ɛteɛ deɛ a, na care adeɛ no a na sɛ skilled work adeɛ no a wode yɛ speaking, listening, reading and writing no, will it be the same for speaking and listening and indefinite leave to remain but obi a wetumi ayɛ saa exams no deɛ, it will be easy so wetumi atwerɛ B1 na wapass it. But life in the UK no ɛna ɛyɛ awe nkurɔfoɔ bebree. Last time obi bisa me sɛ na life in the UK no ɛyɛ compulsory sɛ wonya na carefoɔ no ɔmo ni exemption. Na me sɛ sɛ wokɔyɛ indefinite deɛ a ɛyɛ by force. But the moment sɛ woyɛ w'adwene sɛ wopɛ indefinite nko adeɛ, you have to follow all the requirements. And this is one of the critical factors. It's a critical success factor for indefinite leave to remain and the skilled worker is life in the UK pass. From now on, na yedi nkɔmɔ yi no, wa dream say wobɛyɛ skilled worker indefinite leave to remain no. Wopɛ wɔ ho na sua w'adeɛ na twerɛ to hɔ because it lasts forever. We ready a no way you so. Na my entire say because say main applicant no and all your application no to cover themselves and the dependents no we and your dependent for asem and your main for asem. Nti na just say main no say on ye on ye indefinite no a wo we dependent no what can say mu to my mention no.
Yes, what can say? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, questions kakra but education na fe bisa our questions now. Question on na fe SW2 24.1 so.
Yeah. I had a critical sponsorship and salary requirement for settlement. Now, when we say na yabubo so nyina no easy say obi aba pass me boa.
No correct.
So easy to pass from 19-1 to 23-1. It's so easy. Tick. But because that one no na wo control. So when sa.
Sa.
So you do your homework. Now as I say, but 24 no, it is not in your control. And if somebody is controlling it there, you are at the mercy of Sani Pano. Will follow. But how do you get the person to help you through the indefinite threshold? And what now a year as some pano. Until then, common in no, some ejina hase. The phone for mama share way and super. Now, Uber2 was in way ready. 24-1 sponsorship and salary requirements.
Okay. And near air can say the sponsor in the applicant's most recent permission must still be approved by the Home Office to sponsor skilled workers on the date of decision.
Full stop. Now, the sponsor in the applicant's most recent permission. Tiɛmfa sɛ wei no yɛkyerɛ mu a obi o ma on your 5 years. Into the
Yes.
most recent pension will be the same employer, meboa.
That's correct. Yeah.
Obi umwa on your 1 year, no
Mm.
call another employer. No, I call
Mm.
another employer. So by the time on your 5 years, no more at to point, they've been with different employers.
Sir.
What is
Mm.
a landlord? What rent
Mm.
is
Mm.
your most recent sponsor.
Mm.
Anna, maybe say, is this person approved?
Mm.
What does it mean, approved? Because an employer is approved, what does it mean? It means, what person will
Ɛsɛ still a ne license na okita no na saa atumi na otumi de ɛma o sponsorship no ɛho tɔɔkyema is still approved sɛ ɔda so wɔ saa license no a ɛyɛ adwuma.
Very good. Nana, me ne wo yenim bebree.
Mm.
Nkurɔfoɔ nso a wɔtie yɛn, wɔhwɛ yɛn nso anim bebree. Is it possible say tam na ebedu sɛ wokɔyɛ indefinite no, na the license no is no longer the employer no, sponsor no is not approved. Is it possible?
Bebree wɔ hɔ saa it's not possible.
Kwan bɛn so, main one yɛ dɛn.
Ebi wɔ ha ɔnya ne 5 years na ɔyɛ adwuma na sponsor no alongside the way na ɔmo kɔ so na sponsor anaasɛ company na ɔwɔ license to sponsor no na asɛm bi esi ama yɛ revoke anaa yɛ suspending the license.
Very good. What the impulse has said, the R word, revocation. Until you're revoking the license there, then the employer is no longer or the sponsor is no longer approved.
Mm.
Even though with the 5 years and so I will change say we'll call 5, we'll call which 4, which 4.5, I call 6 months. So employer within last 6 months, will losing the license is no longer approved. No.
Saa.
Okay. Let's go
Yɛnto aso ɛ. Na ɔyɛ approve sɛ ɔnyɛ approve na ahokyerɛ bɛba no yɛnhwɛ neɛ ɛto aso no. Ɔse SW24.2 ɔse the sponsor must confirm that they still require the applicant to work for them for the foreseeable future and that
Full stop. Now, let's go back to the first part of the first sentence. The sponsor must
must be approved.
No. There be two. No. The sponsor must do something.
The sponsor must confirm.
That's the word. You can say on confirm ya. Not just say in your and now because say my employer is okay. Or see your person ni me juma. But you just here. The employer must confirm. And you want to know I say reference bisa.
Yes.
When you employer no mudi hide and seek by all means, it do where you.
Burial.
The employer must confirm that they still need you. I have replaced require with need. They still need you to work for them. Is that the case? How will the employer prove that they need you? They must themselves have job for you, meboa.
Yes.
In terms of I buy and would 5 years or so, and a human you want to managing somehow. They do 5 years now. Can the employer confirm that they still need you or they still have job for you? No. 24.2 very use and critical because say bebree wo ho a 24.2 issue. The employer must confirm. Employer only adwuma no, they will not confirm. And number 2, the employer must confirm say they need you. Not just confirming say I omo na adwuma wo da rules. So they have to show that they still need you. Then the next one say they need you for the future, not now, for future. What is future? After the indefinite. Until getting indefinite is not enough. They want to know, say, when you're indefinite now, still no, when your employer no, bekoso aye juma. Who is going to confirm that? The employer. They have to do so in writing on a headed paper of that employer.
Hmm.
Then let's go to the second part.
Okay. The second, as I'm no, I feel not Thomas. Say, employer never confirm. Say, oh, order so here. Na minim say order so here no so nya say odi pen ni paper na etro keke no so odi ni contract ni those things no enka ho enkyere say no kre or saa hours ne de ma nti na order so here no. Hey, yo, yanko
No,
W24.
no, 24 2 no, you read
Uh-huh,
first part. First
uh-huh.
part, the means no, no, just go to second part of the same
Okay,
paragraph.
okay.
And
And all right, my main starting and obi our journey is where we are. So we are on SW 24.2, and we've talked about the sponsor must confirm that they still require the applicants to work for them for the foreseeable future. And here to us is here, and that the applicant is paid and
full
will
stop.
be paid.
Hold
Mhm.
on. It was anytime I ever who and no, not just
Uh-huh.
say they are individual points.
Okay,
And that the applicant is paid.
paid.
I see
Uh-huh.
proof say you are getting paid or
That's
paid. Until for 5 years when the applicant is paid.
yes.
Then
And
I would have actually
pay slips any omo P60s.
now some person one gets find it out to me.
Say eno so mbeko omo HRM we ni so.
For example, if they want to, they can contact HMRC because they work with that agency.
That's
So you
correct.
see, that is why we are saying say 24, no, you have
Uh-huh.
no control. You have no
Exactly.
control at all.
Mm,
You have no control. So we have controllable factors and uncontrollable factors.
factors.
So let's go to the third part of that paragraph, 24.2, no, and will be what?
Will be paid for the foreseeable future.
Good. Into pay na 1 million. I say
Mm-hmm.
now you are getting paid. Into for the first 5 years, no, you are getting your pay into our evidence. And you are going to be paid after your indefinite, which is the foreseeable future.
Hey, okay, let's continue.
And the last one,
At least the salary is the in SW 24.3.
God, so good. So S24 W24
Point three.
no, salary threshold, you know.
Okay.
I know they're depending on time or we indefinite by rate, you know, the
Mhm.
threshold might have changed. So what is here?
Yes.
They say a consistent, not a cost the employer must prove you say they are still able to pay you, which is the future pay.
That's it.
In this employer no feel say too much and don't know, and honestly I say they be me ejuma will be
Mm,
contract has ended.
mm,
So 24.1, 24.2, 24.3. 24.3 nkran no ɛnyɛ issue bebree, but
mm.
24.1 and 24.2
Point two, no.
na factors no ɛwɔ. Nti atiefoɔ no ahwɛfoɔ yɛhwɛ mu a
Mm,
factors to consider no, apart from na wobɛtumi consider a wɔ control no, there are things that the employer will have to do for you that
mm,
you may not have control, and that has to be historical
mm-hmm,
and future and present.
mm.
Historical means for the past 5 years. Present means it is still happening, and
Yeah.
future means that it will
It
continue
will to
when you're
happen.
in. And
Mm.
it is mainly the salary and the job.
Ever share last man. In fact, ade a yɛ kenken ɛde mama adwene akɔ nneɛma bebree so as with the companies na sponsors na ɔmo sponsor yɛka sɛ applicants ana individuals yi dodoɔ na that particular aspect lies on them, and sɛ obi senior application and home office new rules ni laws yeah concerning sponsorship license yi implement no ama companies pia minimum no, one way or the other, some of them have even regretted taking up the scheme. Into omo pe kwan bia so say number of years fair set na omo de ama omo employees no ebe so keke no maka say now they don't have the hours to work with them anymore na omo nja omo no omo nko into hono na dodo na sa workers bebre be dwen anaso omo be feel anaso omo be ka say bia sponsor no any omo endi ni yie anaso ni omo edi ni yie but then law no na ye ka sisi ano so owo to me say baby aye ndu mi ni adwuma ma o mentumi renew we ne ma wa bibia no a obey no ana
Right. Now, let's look at the default position.
okay,
This is a contract, isn't it?
it is.
And it's a fixed contract
That's correct.
with fixed duration. 1 year. So what you 1 year, na 1 year so no say edwuma ni ho a ontumi edwuma ni ho a, that means it will not be renewed.
Exactly.
And I
Oh,
say 2 years
yeah,
na
review.
so let's say 5 years na so na edwuma ni ho a, that means ontumi renew for indefinite. But you see, that's the contractual side of things. But you
Yes.
see, that is where we go back to Section 84(1), Section 91, Section 92B of the Immigration Asylum Act of 1999, which is going to be the new Border Security Bill. Because
Okay.
the people no present it, say, or advertise it, or arrange it, or ye bibia na or what we call reliance expectations. Say, this is what is going to happen. Na a better 5 years. Now we are what we call indefinite. Yeah, that is the backdoor conversation, possibly.
Okay.
And the panel can, if they want to, take you on, not on the side say you don't have a job, but on the fact say you made a representation to them, even when you knew say on immigration front, that was misleading.
Okay. Hey, law, emu do. Mudo nti no ne nyinaa gyina sɛ wobɛte aseɛ yie ansa na wa accept contract no nti sɛ wote aseɛ na wo accept yɛ na afei ɛnte saa anaa wante aseɛ na wo accept yɛ na wabɛhu sɛ wonte aseɛ na anasa nte aseɛ na wante aseɛ no ɛnyɛ saa na ɛte a na sisi a den na wobɛyɛ na wofa lawyer na akyerɛkyerɛ mu yi in fact lawyers ma adeɛ wei deɛ ɛyɛ ase fam because sɛnea ɛkeka kɔ no ehia sɛ such education yɛde bɛma public ne like bɛfa sɛ bosom mmiɛnsa biara no yɛnka saa adeɛ wei ho na nkurɔfoɔ nya nte aseɛ sɛ sei na ɛteɛ na picture na sponsors na ɛtwa ma applicant no mbia is subject to change abra manka saa ankyerɛ sɛ nti saa representation no ebe mu a wo as an applicant then na wobɛyɛ yɛbɛka ho asɛm but lawyers ma yɛakenkan wie anaa.
So things to consider before applying for indefinite. Yewie ɛhɔ no, but just a quick recap, then we go through the questions I want. So questions no you go through questions, na for so will be being swa, then we go further.
Okay. Now, your last submission, there was something like misrepresentation be and I say misconception be eba ewo. Okay, now manya contract. Within the contract, no, me sponsor and neoma me sponsorship, no. I can say me contract of 5 years. Na me nso menim say after staying in the UK continuously for 5 years as a skilled worker no metumi enya akwenya sɛ may apply for indefinite leave to remain. Now ene yehu sɛ ansa na menya saa adwene no kora sɛ mɛyɛ indefinite leave to remain no or say me consider all these factors ene yaka ya kyerɛkyerɛ mu wɔ ha no. Now me kɔ akɔyɛ my application no me the sponsor details no aka ho say home office for na be contact sɛ ɔno nso bɛyɛ saa confirmation ni say ampa otua meka ampa ɔwɔ or twaso e de amame or renew me contract na amame and ampa or obetua so renew obetua sa foreseeable future no nanso no me dey application ne call ye no a home office for e bi o ma contact no neoma ensisi so e wo honom ye contact na ono sisi da bi ontumi enemy entoa so bio because oho lawyer ho me first question oho no as you applicant no and then na obeye embia na watwa all beginning na ye kind ni nyina eligibility suitability any we watwa bebre baka o sponsor no confirmation ho no and then na obeye
Well, that side in there, because say too late. Because anka wunnim say na ebeba nka bia wo be employer or you willing to take you through the future or take you to
okay
the future. Na nka wa switch it. Because the law allows for switching to a new employer. Meboa.
okay
But sa wo twa na last minute no a aka wo the last 28 days no a wo be
mm,
apply for indefinite no a wo be na wa switch up a new employer.
mm.
How would the new
And
employer prove all those things again? In produce idea, unfortunately, you cannot meet the requirement under SW 24.1
24 no
and
okay
24.2.
okay. Until Honotio, some of the contracts I may have seen, no, MBA what throw contract nemo say, almost 5 years no. A sponsor no. In the contract that you've signed, say what year to munti what no. What throw almost say, after the 5 years, I'll renew your sponsorship is renewable by me. Now to continue working with you. Now, so no 5 years now, so no lawyer sponsor ne say on to me and renew based on whatever grounds or no one no. Lawyer, once a contract is contract now, a woman no, to me who be na.
Right. So there are two parts to this point,
Mm-hmm.
bordering on different aspects of law. The first part, whether the employer is right to say there's no job. And of course, within the Employment Rights Act 1996, if there is redundancy, the employer must go through the redundancy process to make you redundant. And so, insofar as the employer goes through the process to make you redundant because the job is no longer available, that's fine. The employer has ticked the box. Or the rule says the employer must tell the Secretary of State, your home office said, the no only will be to condition why then asesa. What I say. So the employer will tell the home office that there's no job. Then the home office will tell you, say your employer says there's no job. Then the home office will decide what to do with you. That is that aspect. Until one day, the show one employer no point. But what I say.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to the other aspect, which is not the employment law. This time,
Okay.
contract law.
Okay.
You told me, said there was contract. And
Yes.
in that contract, the employer made representations
Mm-hmm.
that A, B, C will happen. If you do X, Y, Z. So there's offer and acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
There's consideration on the part of the employee
Mm-hmm.
in that they stop what they were doing to join
Mm-hmm.
you and to execute their part of the bargain.
That's
Yours
correct.
is to take them through to the end. And so, if there is breach in that you cannot perform your part noir as
Uh-huh.
you claim you will there, then that is
Uh-huh.
breach of contract.
That's it.
And if
Okay.
there is a breach of contract, it is up to the person who is aggrieved. In other
Mm-hmm.
words, the person who hopefully says something didn't go well on the
Mm-hmm.
part of the other party, in this
Mm-hmm.
case, our employee, worker, be taking contractual action against breach of contract action
Okay.
against our employer. Where he has nothing to do with home office. This has
Uh,
nothing to do with ACAS. This is pure civil dispute
mm,
resolution or dispute resolution matter, and it is pure contract. Then with the Nipa
mm,
court, what can say? This was the contract, and
mhm,
there's a breach of the contract, and so
mhm,
as a result of the breach, there has been damages caused
mhm.
to you, and so you are claiming there has been a damage to you, and so you are claiming damages against them. And the damage could be that you are claiming future loss of income or all those things.
Okay. Yo, yati eho na ase asma yebeda ase. Yebeda ase ade okay. Yen sesi a yen sa ye chi kakra. Maybe sa one question afi maybe a telephone lines no e de atome won se mre no kwa na e call me nkrofo nso frefre that mean be a telephone lines nti I'm not picking up the calls. And you know, my last question was I mean it's not the last question though. Yes, starting education. You made mention of say dependent fund the enyo mo na enyo mo ka asem no, which is right. Enyo mo asem na ye ka. Nti no bayamfa ne say me ni main employer na me dependent wo ho.
Main
The
applicant,
pato say that
main
again.
applicant, main
Main
applicant.
applicant, main applicant na ho asem na ye ka. Ye call back kakra baby ye suitability no. Life in the UK na fall on him for eligibility and
No,
suitability.
no, don't worry. Yeah, it's part of the LGBT matters.
Okay.
But you just mentioned life in the UK requirement.
Yes. Okay. So now life in the UK requirement, yeah, funny same. I main applicant no a fair no kwaji and crofwe montren na me me ba 1 second. 1 second. Pacho hold on, men kasansa, men bisa me question ya na afe mema wa kwenya na kasa. Yo, enti no or kwakoye indefinite na ohia life in the UK plus the English aspect. Na menim say answer na omo ba no omo ye English no answer na omo de ba. E na omo ye no nso no they've requirement say we ye na we use so answer na 2 years na so you can reuse it again. Enti no omo use so na omo de aya application. So omo koye indefinite na can they use the same thing na so omo nsan koye the B1 ni biom and omo de aka ho ana. Ho no man ti ho no papa.
Well, I think I explained that. Say about English language now, the brain one they had to meet the English language to be able to apply
The
onto the
skill
skill
work
work
ana. Okay.
program. But a Ahono was speaking, listening, reading, and writing with
That's
a
correct.
different threshold and approach. And even within the skilled worker spectrum, care
Uh-huh.
for the health for health sector and a non-health sector and so yes,
It
and
was
so the question is, sir, where you know we use you and we may use be more now. I want to can say it's not quite clear whether it can be reused or not. And I can
okay.
say, will be a way to make sure exams are passing it there. Even if
Uh-huh.
they are to do the reading and speaking and listening,
Beye
for
enye de.
it should be able, it should be okay for them, and they should be able to do it.
Mm.
But problem no English, but a
Okay.
life in the
Life
UK.
in the UK.
Unless they
Okay.
can claim exemptions under the rules for
Mm.
health reasons or
Mm.
disability reasons.
Okay. Right, you be pause no ho. Mpacho maybe a telephone lines in the atum na oho no ye be ye clarification no further. E wo ho. 0208123116 and I say 07399208468. Afen so baby I want to me emfra obetime ja voice note e wo WhatsApp ne so 0759662015 obetime ja voice note mebo e de ama em se ma picky obi call dada odofo wa homa so me ente onka pacha okasa free. Good morning pacha okasa free. Okay, say ode ato so enti no yenko yenim dodo na maba so nyina me nchia mamo na yenko pacha Grace Mensa ebisa question bi na me answer na answer na ne owo line so no wakasa. Grace, how long does it take for home office to respond to switch visas? Switch visas tell who switch it from one skill worker to one skill sponsor to another. And how long no was specific duration bi and I'm saying no de nkan but I'm saying na ɛho asɛm ayɛ bebree nti na ebi delay lawyers ma ɔmo wɔ specific time range a ɔsɛ wotwɛn.
Well, now question no, very broad, so I can't really give tailored
Mm,
response. Because because I
mm.
switch visa, obi oma okuta 2.5, no switch it
Okay,
from 10 year
okay,
to 5 year. Obi oma
okay.
or your partner or co parent. So which switch?
Mm,
Obi oma
mm,
or a student or switch it alcohol. Obi oma we are
mm,
skilled worker part one or co skilled worker part two. So which
mm.
switch are we talking about? But let's
What
put
talking
all of
about?
them together and say, so we have this application, say yes switch you, say yes
Uh-huh.
switch you. So we call
Mm,
priority a
mm,
quick within a week. But say your
mm,
priority now your standard there, it can
mm,
go as long as 6 months. But for
mm,
skilled worker visas, the ones I have done and most of my colleagues have done at the office,
mm,
mostly within 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month,
mm.
decisions come.
And
But
Chester,
again, the answer I'm giving is not to the question of this side because question of this side wasn't clear. So I'm
broad.
giving
Okay.
an open response.
Okay. All right. So yabekwa your name on that. In particular, Grace, say specific application switch need there. You can put it across. But say generic answer now lawyer ask madam it cuts across almost all of them. Other for one who must some patcho your frau send now kasa friend. Yo, even see it you. Yeah, that's it. No problem. You are welcome to do so. Mm. Mhm. Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay. Yo, when we them say, lawyers my mama home why and yet densa. Lawyers ma ne yira to nkosia kama na also what 2.5 entino. Obisa say otumi gyina ne so. Me phone no mama friend no mon friend near what board ne so no. When you call the voice note number now, I will not pick it up from there. Until last my patro yema yenua be may answer. Oh, question be we bisa na. Obetumi bisa na nyesa na me phone no to no ntiem free. Ye can say program mo answer na
Okay,
me ntumi
just to
about.
clarify, ne bano den owo, ne bano a ya won no den owo.
Mpacho wo ba no yesi de na wo.
Ma me ye hini, ma me ye Uni national and I say ye of hin, ma me no ne nationality ye den. Okay, so let's pause it there. Let's pause it there. My many ye Ghanaian and now all your family member, right? And now ne ba no so ye Ghanaian because akwala no be fa ne papa ne mami nationality. Nti akwala no so ye Ghanaian and potentially may be going under 5 year route based on the grandparent. Yes, sir.
Mm.
That means the child is not a qualifying child because the qualifying child must be a EU national with 5 years, not a Ghanaian with 5 years. So you cannot go under the child within the rules.
All right.
Me say, grandfather, grandmother, bet me age 5 years. Ama akwala no. These days, no, akwala ya ade, akwala de your mom indefinite right away. Your mama for 5 years. But because akwala passport, you can only Ghanaian passport, or a foreigner. A foreigner with 5 years cannot transfer to their parents. Nti the only time akwala no betumi aboa wo no is when akwala no enya indefinite. Then the child has become a qualifying child. Na wetumi aboa wo na wahwɛ no kama.
Okay. Shema me why na me pick away. Oh, or they are too so. Okay, my main kind message back.
Now we take a commercial break.
Okay, all right. Producer, me tie for ne ahwe for me ba mama me na me mum put up things. Me twa me ho sima me ba na afi na ye koso. Why?
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contestant and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Yo, okay, yasa aba na mema mo nyina kwa aba biom dodo na maba so nyina medamasi. Keep on sharing, keep on liking the page, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel no ebe ende ye. Na yenye odofo baako ewa ahoma no so mpacho wo kasa free me ente won kam mami.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good morning. Yes.
Yeah, Joso, yeah, Joso.
The question is quickly, and it's was COA now across 5 years, for 5 years, all convenient go. Unfortunately, we applied for indefinite, in a company, whilst a home office or a company, went into administration.
Yeah, I said, question me, matro.
Yeah, I went into bankruptcy or the company was dissolved. Now, the only partner will be to me quickly, I prepare another company, or a sponsor, I should put it, which might be another sponsor. Now I then apply to very new application, for another 5 years or 2 years. Now, because we're working 5 years already on the other one, that means on the new one, it has to be another 5 years as we and I said, or if you only do for a year, on which miracle, I have been on COA for 6 years. My last employer, current employer, which one have all the information, all the documents, or all the NMI needed. Will it be possible? So, then, what's it called? The indefinite. And the second question also say, so if I, in such a situation, maybe when you sponsor now, on the COA, which me, after to be a medical,
when I apply for school. If you're here to me when you try. And after 5 years, we have to share the school fees. That's it. The person has to go back home, not apply for student visa, and also makes me a change. Waha, some cooking, why,
Okay.
then no, you have another 5 years, or they are both 9, 10 years, not their consider in the
Okay, Keke. Second one, me say lawyer asthma, bedun juma. Now, first one, no, say, through the education, say, according to things to consider, they say at the time of application, no, say, sponsor, no, mark confirmation, there. Why not? Ube to me, no, it doesn't matter whether it was the old application sponsor now say we I think that your current sponsor, but question is say tama or your application no home office no before home office for be decision no na wo sponsor no ni license no teach ma is that what you are saying? Hence no company na time or your application now or g those information or time na company na wu ye but time decision be by be it take be a month or two for decision to come no samre no and a company no you during the go form. Okay, lawyers man we no
So now Ayana
take
Omokasa,
it.
it's quite faint. So if you can echo the question for me.
Okay, near oka no keke me ba near oka ni say mpacho say otemenka
Yes, it's
otimi.
much better. Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Yeah, all can I say skill worker we do 5 years or apply for we no indefinite no to know why application no the company the current sponsor no I provide every detail say ampa on any be blah 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 and no application but application be according more than a month or two decision and by decision ni beba na nche bia na application sponsor no you revoke the license during decision time making no you revoke the license so bisa say one application betumi go through and I say secondly obetumi akopɛ a different sponsor na or the atoa application ne so na say onya nso a 5 years now we twa old sponsor ne nkyɛn no obetumi de aka ho new one no say new one man a year or 2 years sponsorship na or say odi saa another 2 years na nsa na obetumi aye ni indefinite and I say onya new sponsor na otoa so ma na obetumi still akwa ye indefinite application na.
Oh yeah. So now let's be clear. Let's be clear in our minds.
Mhm.
Employer within the last 28 days
Uh-huh.
of the 5 years, which may
Yes.
approve it there, there's still
Uh-huh.
job for you, and
Yes.
they deal with you throughout, and they will
Yes.
continue to pay you that money. It's not
Yes.
just writing anything; they will write and
Yes.
support it.
Exactly.
It's not possible, say, within that time, no employer you be revoke. No, it
Okay.
won't happen. Come on, I mean, unless or Heidi BB. But so when Heidi BB, everything is as it is there. Not
Uh-huh.
on the application you continue.
Uh-huh.
Then unless the question will be said, sir, it be an employer and will be an name say you revoke no.
Uh-huh.
Now we approve, we confirm, we BB. Now you the
Yes.
other acquire. Now
Uh,
almost find it out to say it is not the
uh-huh.
case. What would
Uh-huh.
they do? If they
Okay.
find out that the employer is not approved or the
And
employer
yes,
is
we
not
can't throw.
able to do that there, then they will say that you don't qualify under paragraph SW24
Yes.
because that employer is not approved or
Approved.
that
Okay.
employer may not remain approved.
Okay.
And if the employer is not going to remain approved there, then after your indefinite, you cannot continue to work for that employer. In that
Okay.
case, it's up to home office what to do. They may write to you to give you days to switch, just as they do for everybody. And
Okay.
depending on what they tell you to do, you follow that direction.
Direction. Okay, Keke, now be some question be wait.
Yeah, the second one,
Oh.
Maybe second question means so.
Uh-huh.
Second question is let me say what clock 5 years on another employer.
Yes.
And then why your application require that the company owns license no.
Yeah, revoke it.
Revoke and they revoke or you can see the name and koye. Now when you scabi that was all
Go school.
to student.
Is it possible? Okay. Yo, last ma, my main cost of time no call. Last ma, yeah, KK. Last ma, what's in na?
Now I'm so busy say over to me, baby. Also over to me. I think
Okay,
it's a student switching. Whether you
from
can apply to students
yes. Do
in
you have to
country.
go back home and apply from there, or you can do it from here?
I mean, technically, it's usually the position is that if you're applying for a student visa, you have to apply from your home country.
Country.
But depending in some circumstances, and please, I said in some
Some
circumstances,
circumstances.
underlined, in some circumstances, you may be able to do it in the UK. So you have to check with the school whether they can, whether you fall under those circumstances in your
Okay.
situation, to be able to get it from here. So it depends.
Okay. Because nti no say bisa next question by en time kwa keke nti mesre wo ho 11 na bo na nipa miense gina so memfa ba akopɛ na afei menkan one word na yenkoya ma wo two opportunity ni de ma opportunity mo be foforo wa mpacho. Okay. Yo nti bisa way quickly lawyers ma Charles Emery ebisa say please how long does it take for the home office to respond to an administrative review after the application? And two, can the response to an administrative review be expedited? And
Okay, first one, it takes longer. At the moment, there are some admin reviews that have taken 2 years, some 1 year, and some still pending. Can it be expedited? There's no criteria for or rule for expedition, unlike
okay.
normal application. And
Okay.
so, what we do is we write to them to complain
Hold on.
and to say that it's taking longer than usual because the standard time is 28, but they now say that it will take more than 28. So once we say 28, even though it's going to take longer now, and now it's too long, we can write to them under pre-action protocol and complaint procedures.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Last caller. Last my I'll request a topic we Lord me nya course be bapa even through my private number. No into the message say if we can, adjust the topic a bit next time. Now share the same thing because a lot of people are in this issue. I'll put it mess. So how would they be able to correct this mess to become a proper message for others to also emerge from it? Odofo wa homa so mpacho okasa yiti only me last caller. Okay.
Indefinite to women. Is it possible say to me I adoption or kind of
Oh, indefinite leave to remain. Into be say, is it possible with my adoption? I adopt you Obi from Ghana. Okay. Lawyers may adoption rules the endorse, but let's see. Is it possible? Yes or no? Lawyers.
Of course, if you want to adopt a child, yes, it's possible, but you have to follow the rule and the process to get it right. We have de facto adoption where you have been looking after the child for the past 18 years. And in the last 12 years, the child has been living with you. But Nipaya can say, UK. So the person cannot prove, say, in the last 12 years, on that every day for 365 days. So that is not possible. And so there will be they cannot claim de facto. That means you have to go through the process. You have to start from the UK because we call something the Hague Adoption Convention or the Hague, the UN Convention Adoption. What you have to do is say, we start from country now, so person de apalano eba no say UK. You have to start from the UK and get your certificate from DFE, which is Department of Education. So when you know, you have to do that through the council, social service department. When you new here, then you go to the country now, apalano one to go through the court process. It says that the child is going to be adopted and moved to another country. Once you've gotten all this right and received the necessary documentation or certificate, the child has become your child. Then you can apply as if the child is your biological child to come and live with you in the UK.
Okay. It's a very rigorous application. You know, so yeah, you have to see a lawyer. You can. Yes. Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Mido. Shema mi mi hu share no share. Shema mi. Me that's it. All right, bye bye. Tie for na ahwefo say aha na e de dwumedie no ebebe wie na say one question be I think say we've answered that e board ne so yeah that's it. Me nua ba me ba Chocho Gloria, thank you. Okay, yen hwe kweku bonso say can I travel as a skilled worker if my main applicant has switched his visa without adding me? Hey, a good question. Like
I mean, the rules allow for you to still be legally resident in the UK, even if you are not on the transfer visa. I call it transfer visa, the new employer.
yeah.
Now, if you are aware dependent, you can still remain where you are. Now,
Okay.
main person and the events on no you stay where you are and you are still legal or valid. However, you claim say wouldn't name say we move on. In terms of say where to quite where we do airport. Maybe say, okay, who are you coming to? Oh, I'm already here. I went on holiday. My wife is my yeti. Oh,
Yeah.
where does she work? What you know is the old employer, Mebwa.
Exactly.
So you mentioned the old employer. Then they will check the system and say, no, we don't see that there. We see something else.
Mm.
Then that is where they will be wondering whether
Say.
the relationship is still subsisting. But even that, they cannot say you don't have residence in the UK because the laws or the rules do not require you to switch with the person.
Okay.
Compare a relationship matter there, then you have to prove say you are still in a subsisting relationship,
With
just
the
that
person.
you follow their own rules not to switch at this point.
Right. In on that note, thank you so much. Let me invite our dear sister lawyer Annie to give us the English version of today's topic. Na yemfama yen other nation for no. Lawyer Annie, you are welcome.
Good morning to our viewers and listeners, and happy Friday to you all. Today we looked at the different things that need to be considered before someone submits an application as a skilled worker for indefinite leave to remain. So we looked at the Immigration Rules Appendix Skilled Worker, which was just updated last month ago on the 9th of April. And when you look at the guidance, there are different criteria or requirements that need to be met. So the first requirement is the validity requirement, which we went through today, which is under SW19. So the first requirement is that you'd have to complete the correct form. So there are so many forms on the gov.uk website. So you have to make sure that you complete the correct form, which is set O. You then also have to make sure that you pay the proper fee and that you book your biometric appointment and that you actually attend your biometric appointment, and that as part of the application you provide your ID, which can either be your passport. Normally we submit passports, or you can also use another form of ID if you have one. And you have to make sure that at the time of the application that you are in the UK. That's very important to note. So let's say you've gone on holiday and you want to apply for indefinite leave as a skilled worker. That wouldn't really work. You have to be in the UK at the time of the application. We then moved on to the suitability requirements, which can be found in SW20. So, suitability requirements are requirements that need to be met, because if you do not meet those requirements, then you wouldn't be, like, the caseworker wouldn't consider you as suitable. So they would basically look at any criminal behaviors that you've had in the past, whether you have any criminal convictions. They would also look at your previous behavior in terms of when you were completing previous forms. So, for example, let's say you previously completed a form and you maybe lied within the form, or you provided false documents. They will take all of that into consideration, or even if you have any debts outstanding. So, for example, if you've been to a GP, for example, or you've had a medical procedure done and you haven't paid the fees, and you owe the NHS more than £500, in that case, that wouldn't help your case. Or even if you owe the court or the Home Office any fees, that all of that would be taken into consideration. And lastly, you shouldn't be on immigration bail. So those are the suitability requirements. And then we moved on to the eligibility requirements, which can be found in SW21. So you have to make sure that during the 5 years that you were in the UK as a skilled worker, that you have lived in the UK continuously, which means that the caseworker would consider how many times you have been outside of the UK, how long you've been on holiday, for example, because as part of the application, you'd have to provide, of course, your passport, and then they would also look at the stamps within your passport. So normally, you shouldn't have been out of the UK for more than 180 days within each 1 year period. And yeah, if that's the case, then you would have been in the UK continuously. So that is an important requirement that needs to be met. Then, of course, you have to sit the Life in the UK test, and then some skilled workers might have to sit the English language test, depending on whether they have a degree already. Or yeah, if not, if the skilled worker doesn't have a degree, then they'll just have to sit the English language test at level B1. And then lastly, we looked at the salary requirements, which can be found in SW24. So you have to just make sure that as part of your application as a skilled worker for indefinite leave to remain, that your most recent employer is approved by the Home Office. So, of course, during your 5 years period within the UK as a skilled worker, you could have switched from an employer to another employer, but you just have to make sure that at the time of you as a skilled worker applying for indefinite leave to remain, that your recent employer is approved by the Home Office. So you have to make sure that their license has not been revoked, for example, because if their license has been revoked, then you wouldn't necessarily meet the requirements. And your employer would also have to confirm that they would continue to employ you for the foreseeable future, and they would have to write a letter in support of your application as well. And they would have to confirm that they will continue to pay you. And of course, as Lawyer Charles said, the Home Office, they can make their own inquiries. They can, for example, contact HMRC to check that you have been paid and all of that. So these are the things that a skilled worker would have to consider when it comes to making an application for indefinite leave to remain. I hope this helps. Thank you very much.
Yo, Leani, help papa. Thank you very much as well. Na yedi edwumedie no ebe wiye no na kyerɛ meda mo a mo ba so nyinaa honey, is it honey Boating, or say in fact the whole team are great. Honey, yeda sanso na chocho Gloria say good morning manye and lawyer. This great enlightened and for the fact that It's free. Oh, free counseling. God bless you. Chacho Gloria, thank you so much. Nyame enka wo ho, more insight on that. I say promise also we cannot hear. Oh, okay. I think say one of the okay, and then your course na me bisa. So yamfa edumedie no embe wie ye na dodo amoba so nyame enka mo nyina. Last ma yemre no ko enti no. Then pa na do a quick one ansa na sorry akọ.
Yo, now, Brony Fred be unequivocal. That
Okay,
means echinye bi ani ho,
that's
and
it.
it's unqualified. That means there's no if, there's no but.
That's it.
The rules are clear. They are unqualified and unequivocal.
Okay.
Paragraph SW 24.1, 24.2 of Appendix Skilled Worker to the Immigration Rules say that one, if you're a skilled worker, you are going for indefinite leave to remain, make sure
Mm,
that you are still useful to that employer.
mm,
If you are no longer useful to the employer, that means there's no job for you. If there's
mm,
no job for you, then you are no longer needed in the UK. So you
okay.
cannot go for indefinite to remain permanently. That's
Mm,
point one. Point two, to prove that, the employer must be able to show that they need you and that they will pay you the money and that
mm,
they themselves are not at fault with the Home Office. If you're not
mm,
able to prove this, they are and they're better at doing so we will indefinite leave to remain. You
mm,
have to remember, say, once on a skilled worker 5 years, it is
mm.
not magically going to lead to indefinite.
Yo, Lasma, you better say. I mean, this topic, no, me say you better subium because we have so much questions based on the fact said, do na even ya revoke my license now. Government, I'm almost scheme B to rely on and so forth and so forth. How is all these things going to affect your future indefinite leave to remain application? And we have a lot to talk about when it comes to still skilled migrant applications. And until last month, me da see ye, and I hope say next time it turns out for what you make us have ever na ye did you made at so I tell for now for a better money answer. I see if you really enjoyed today's program, no, please leave a comment, share the program, like the page, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until then, next week, with same time, same place, we'll meet again. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Midiani Manyeti. Bye bye.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specializing in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specializing in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.